a poor boy from Liverpool. I'm just a poor boy from Liverpool.
Good evening, everyone. It's Monday. Supposed to be history night tonight. The unfortunate thing is, I've got to say this, I've got to be honest, is that everybody seems to be watching this World Cup. I haven't watched a minute of it, in protest of America and Israel. I'm in protest against them playing in the World Cup. But, that's the way it is. That's the way it is. And I think it's a farce. It really is. World Cup was supposed to be the world. That's what it's called, the World Cup. It doesn't mean the likes of other countries being bad. That's all that I mean. What country's barred from playing? So you've got a country that's barred from playing simply because they went to war against a genocidal nation that were killing Russian-speaking people, murdering them. So they went in to stop it. So what has happened is they got banned from everything, even literature, taken out of libraries. Literature. Plays not being performed. Russian plays, Chekhov plays that people went and seen and loved them. You had athletes like gymnasts, banned. Everything. The Bolshoi ballet banned. Everything banned. Everything. And yet you have two countries that are warmongering and killing people every day. Like today. Like last night. And they're taking part in the World Cup. Can anyone make sense of that? None of their literature, none of their entertainment, none of their anything has been banned. So I take a stance on that. I really do. You mightn't agree with me, or you might agree, I don't know. But when I look at people who are, I'm please don't get me wrong here. I'm not having a go at people watching the World Cup. I'm really not. I'm really not telling people, I don't watch it, because I'm not saying that. I used to love the World Cup. That's what it was about, the World Cup. Nations throughout the world taking part. Brilliant. You'd always support your own country. And if they went out early, you'd support like your second favourite. And you wanted them to do well. You're kidding me? You see the post there? Fantastic. Fantastic. You see, so it's things like that that really get to me. Really get to me. And that's the way it is with some certain things that, well, just nauseate me. When you get people playing in tournaments that shouldn't be there. If one's not there, one nation, because of like a war, neither should others who are involved in wars. But if you think that it's bad, just have a look at the Middle East, what's going on there. Just have a look. It's shock. Well, that's my thing over. Now, what I want you to, I've just got to ask this. Someone asked me, I wish I could do it. I'm genuine this, because of the World Cup and whatever that's going on. I would like to have done a stream of a day, a live stream, football. Whether it's the World Cup or transfer rumours and things. But I can't do it, unfortunately, because I have to wait for Jason to set everything up. Because, as you know, I'm absolutely useless with technology. This technology, that is. I'm a bit too old now for it all. I used to be a dinosaur when I was lecturing. I used to have what you call an OHP, an overhead projector, and I had my screen. I used to put great pictures up, when I was explaining about things. Whether it was about Rome, Roman Empire, whether it was about Napoleon, whether it was about Charles Dickens even. Anything, everything that went, an OHP. And I was called a dinosaur. I said, well, I can't use all this. And I was coming up for retirement anyway, so I thought, I'm not getting into all that. So really, I can't do a live stream. What I can do is, but it's only on football, is recorded ones, which I might put one out tomorrow. Now, I've got to ask you now, are you all right with, there's two things actually, are you all right if you want me to carry on with the football, or would you rather watch, the World Cup? I've got to know that, because it's no use having it. I'm sorry to say this, honestly, just a couple of people looking in. It's not worth it to me. It's not worth it for the algorithm, if you know what I mean. So it's entirely up to you. And also, the second point, someone asked me, and I go along with it, and it's absolutely wonderful, about doing literature. Literature. You might think, literature, who wants to know about books? But when you look at it in the cold light of day, literature, they've made films out of books. And I'd like to explain, I'm not saying, well, I'd just like to explain if the film represents the book that was written. See what I mean? Things like that will be brought into it. So if you want me to do that, someone asked me to do literature and poets as well. Excuse me, poets as well. Bring poets into the equation. The likes of William Blake, I don't think anybody really I'm not saying anybody. People have heard of a fellow by the name of William Blake. He's one of the greatest of all greats. Poet, artist, incredible what he did. And Jason got me one of the best birthday presents I've ever had. I'll show you this after the break, if you're still with me, what he got me about William Blake. So, it's things like that. What messages did Charles Dickens give in his novels, every single novel? What messages did Shakespeare give in his plays? Need to be explained. And the poets, what messages did they give? The likes of Browning, My Last Duchess. These are all based on fact. What's that about? Browning. Think about it. Robert Browning. Incredible man. Incredible poet. So you see, it's just like getting to the basics of things. Where did the likes of Oliver Twist spring from? Where did he just appear from? In a novel. And when you think of Oliver Twist, it's a twist of the story, a massive twist within the story. So it's things like that, that need to be explained. And you will know some stories without even reading the book. Then they make a film. But you might think, I've seen the film of that. Say like Great Expectations by Dickens and Following Pip without reading the book. Well, you've got a good outlay of what the book's about through the film. With John Mills playing Pip. Great cast, great film. But does it represent the actual novel? Because the novel's that thick. And you're watching a film, 1.5 hours long. Does it represent all that? Every single novel. I'll give you another clue as well. I was going away and I picked up a book and I was just looking to see, because he always brings something away with me to read while you're lounging about on the beach or, by the pool or wherever you're lounging about. And then I picked up and it was blue cover. And I looked and I went, I'll have a look at that, because what I seen was a drawer, a shark like that. And it was Jaws. And this is before the film came out here in this country. So I went away and I read it. Read the whole lot of it. And when I got back, I think it was the following year, 75. The following year, I watched the film. And it was different. If you've seen the film and you've read the book, you'll know how it's different. Not yours, but the storyline is different. Not the big shark, not the big fish, not that, but the story, the actual storyline. So it's things like that. And I'll even tell you directors of films who go straight to the content of the book. So if you watch one of these fellas' films, you go, wow. If you've read the book, that is, because he's right to the content. And he's done some cracking work. on the films. So you see, it's things like that. That's all I'm saying about it. So if you want me to do that, it'll have to be of an evening. It'll have to be of an evening. Like, see what you've been saying. You're all telling me to piss off or whatever. DJ Smooth. Hello, Frank. DJ Smooth. How smooth can you get with a name like that? Hello, Frank. How are you doing, first of all? Waiting to go into hospital for a serious operation. That's all I'm doing, TJ. Excuse me. Toscana, buonasera, Franco and Co. Hope you're okay. I hope you're okay too, Tusk. I really do. And DJ, this is Sean Blackmore, by the way. I've changed my name on the channel. How many people do that? Are you sure? I've changed my name. All right, Sean. Good to see you. And Phil says, hello, Frank. And the chat. Hello, Phil. Good to see you, Phil. And Johnny. Hiya, Johnny. Hello and good evening, lovely Frank. And lovely chat family. Isn't that lovely? From a dear little lady. She lets on to everybody. Now this fella. Young. Good evening from rainy St. Petersburg. Oh, you know where St. Peter? Beautiful city. Beautiful. Apologies, I haven't been on in a while. As to sort the VPN out. Smash the likes on the way in, legends. Johan, someone was trying to get into my bank account, and it was shocking. And Jason found out where he was. We were waiting for you. Where is he? Where does he come from? And I have to use an expletive. He's fucked everything up for me. It's like I'm getting messages late. I don't know whether I'm using. I sent you an email to see, we were worried about you, really. Thought them pesky tigers got you, you went back to the Himalayas, to view and take photographs of those pesky yetis. Oh, what's that? No one's got them. But it's just made up that you've got, whether you've got hold of me email, I don't know, because I'm still waiting for Jason to give me the go ahead. It's a long story because of this fucking prick who was trying to get into my bank account. I think if you were to see my bank account, I think he was throw through me a few bob. Fucking hell, look at this fella. See what I mean? So it's things like that. And I'm hardly receiving it. I get messages, but they're coming in dead late to me, even a day. Your little Johnny, she sent me a message about a film. I never got it until today. And Phil says, Johann, St. Petersburg is on my list. There you go. I remember you saying that. St. Petersburg, fantastic city. And Bella, hiya Bella, Franco a tutti. Buonasera Franco e a tutti. Buonasera Bella. And Marcella. Fucking hell. How many messages here? Yeah, look, Johan highly recommends it to visit a beautiful city. Yes, it is. I love the bridge. I love that bridge. And lovely Toscana says politics and sport should be kept separate, in my opinion, and religion. Sport is supposed to be an enjoyment and to get away from the daily grind. Yes. And Carl Ledham says, I like the conspiracy theory. Watch along. When I showed the Titanic, I got an email through about copyright and things like that. And I went, true ago. And I said to Jason, I said, yeah, I can't understand this. Forwarded to him. And he said, not to worry, because he's sorting out this fucking fella, for me. And it's hard to explain, honestly. Now, I wanted to show something concerning, and there's footage. And the footage has to be seen. Because Americans love saying, that's a conspiracy theory. They don't like the truth, you see. So they call it a conspiracy theory. Where a group of people, sit down and talk about a certain thing, and then they come out with, no, that's not what happened. This is what happened. And this is the culprit. You see? And I had this, and I thought, I can't show it, because I really would get in trouble. Really. So I thought it's best not to press ahead, as they say. But thank you, Carl. But I'll still be doing though on the Fridays. I could do one, but without any footage. If you want me to do it, I'll do it this week. I'll do it this week, Carl. It's a good one, actually. And Donna says, literature, Frank, big yes. Oh, that's nice. Okay. And Cedric says, oh, yeah, Cedric. This is the fella who's acted with Betty Davis and Joan Blondell and Lana Turner and Ginger Rogers. Been finding out all about him. And Fred Astaire. Fred. Great dancer. Greatest dancer, in my opinion, ever. Smooth. I tried to dance like Fred Astaire at the Grafton. And I was dancing on my own. No one to dance with me. No girls. No grannies. No nothing. Anyway, big up, Frank. We are on. We are not here for your technical ability. Thank you. We are here for you. Thank you. Learn from your stories, history while working. Yes. Yes. Thank you. You know, you think when I was mentioning about the literature, that is history. Believe you me. See, lots of people, when they write a novel, for example, I'll mention one novel, that's all. And it's by one of the greatest of all. Well, it was a family of them. Charlotte Bronte. Incredible writer. And she wrote a novel making social comments. Social comments. And there's so much in it. It's people often said to me, "What's your favourite novel?" Because I'm a specialist on Dickens. And when I tell them, they go, "What? Not a Dickens one?" No. It's Jane Eyre. Because Jane Eyre and the social comment is absolutely amazing. What she sees and what she wants. It's a semi-autobiography, by the way. Jane Eyre. And what she said. These are the things that I'd like to get out about these wonderful poets and prose writers and Shakespeare. Can't get away from Shakespeare. Incredible. You've only got to look at you can match it up with, when I say it, you'll understand. The Merchant of Venice. You can match it up to today. Think about that. And Johan says, yes and yes. Oh, Bella, sorry. Yes, Franco, literature and poetry, fantastic. Thank you, Bella. Thank you. You see, I'm still doing it of an evening on a Thursday. I'm doing the film and TV review. Films to watch. So I'll be doing that. And LFC, LFC, even in Frank and Draw, I find myself interested in all the subjects you discuss. And if I'm free, I drop in because it's educational and entertaining. Thank you, LFC. Thank you. Really appreciate the comments, actually. And honestly, as you know, Frank, I have problem. I know that, sweetheart, with my eyesight. So hearing the written word would be fantastic, especially poetry. Yes. Yes. And the DJ, Mr. Smooth, he says, sounds great stream that, Frank, on the literature. Yes. People should know, honestly. People should know about all these wonderful things, literature, that has given us. throughout the centuries. People, I used to teach, honestly, genuineness. I used to teach I used to do some night work. Right, I used to do night work. I call it different colleges. And the principal called me in and she said, I know that you're a specialist on Shakespeare. She said, and would you be willing to do, sessions on Shakespeare for the terrified? I said, have you got the students? She said, yeah. Because they're just terrified of once the word Shakespeare. And I said, yeah, sure. I'm very successful. And because people think that Shakespeare, oh, they can't be having that. All these funny words and doth thou and cursed is the man. And they just couldn't get into it. But one thing is very important, honestly. One thing is very important. No matter how intelligent someone is, if you went to see a play, say like Two Men from Verona, let's just say that, and you've never read it, and you know nothing about it, it's absolutely true, this. Genuine. If you went to see it, you wouldn't understand it. Even the greatest play of all ever written, Macbeth, greatest play ever written. If you went to see that and you've never read it, you never hadn't a clue what Macbeth was about, you wouldn't understand it. Really. So therefore, you've got to know about the play before you go and see it to understand it. And that's where I come in with Shakespeare. Got to do Shakespeare. Really. I won't pick loads of plays, like I'll just pick a few. The likes of Othello, for example, Hamlet. Whether to be nobler in the mind or suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune. Just imagine saying that to someone. This is why I was asked to do, sessions on Shakespeare for the terrified. And it's explained. And Phil, Frank, I started listening to Dickens' Barnaby Rudge. I sometimes fall back asleep, so to the book. I chose Dickens after some of your discussions. Dickens is the greatest of all descriptive writers. I'll ask you this, people who want to do this. How about doing it on a Wednesday evening, if you prefer, and I'll do it. And I'll tell you something about Dickens, which you'll go, I didn't know that. Promise you that. Everybody knows Dickens. Everybody. Everybody knows Charles Dickens. But they don't know him. They don't know his work. I'm sorry to say that. I really am. We can all read something and go, wow, that's great, that. Or, I'm not reading that, that's garbage. But you don't know the ins and outs of the storyline. I'm not being I'm not being clever or anything. I just want to get it over. Honestly, I just want to get it over so that you'll have a better understanding when you're reading a book. You know, if you go away somewhere and you take a book with you, even on a train journey, say you're going on a 3.5 hour train journey on your own, read, read a book. I've done it before myself. Big up Frank and chat says TW. I say, good to see you. And Bella says, ciao, Toscana. Oh, yeah, hope your son, I hope he hasn't been ill. I really don't. I hope he's okay, your lad. Press the like button and subscribe for Franco. Thank you. And Ironside, heaven, heaven knows we need never to be ashamed of our tears, for they are rain upon the blinding dust of earth, overlying our hard hearts. Brilliant, that, isn't it? Great expectation. Some novel. Thank you, Ironside, for that wonderful quote. Thank you. Heaven knows we need never to be ashamed of our tears, for they are rain upon the blinding dust of earth, overlying our hard hearts. Brilliant. Because that's what it was like during the 19th century. Hard hearts. Brilliant. Pip, Stella, Miss Fabersham. Incredible. Phil. Frank, many years ago, and a bloke I met on a sailor trip was a retired policeman. Liverpool had the first police computer yet, and he told a few interesting stories about Liverpool. That's interesting because that is interesting. We had the very first, believe it or not, we had the very first two-way system in cars, police cars. We also put rubber soles on the hobnail boot. What the boots that they were all hobnailed. So you had policemen coming along, or it's the scuffers, or it's the peelers, or whatever they were called. And so Liverpool police, someone had the bright idea of putting rubber soles so that the burglars or whoever they were, doing, the criminals, they couldn't hear them sneaking up on them. True that. Liverpool police. Natasha. Hiya, Natasha. Hiya, Frank. How are you? I'm okay, Natasha. Better for you coming along and joining us, Natasha. Hi, Donny. And Toscana about her son, thank you. To Bella. Thank you, yes, he's a bit better. Oh, he's got gastro appointment tomorrow, so I'm hoping to get more good and tests done. That's lovely, that. I'm at the doctor's tomorrow myself. and see, is that Putin heartland, Johan? Putin is Russia, the Russian Federation. I've just been looking at something there, and if people believe this man, I'm not talking Putin, Zelensky, the criminal, he is a criminal, and he's a war crime criminal too as well, besides a thief. Now, a Russian church was hit last night. There was a drone attack and a Iskander attack on Kiev. And a Russian church was hit. And you see Zelensky going, look, this is what the Russians done. They never. It was a Russian Orthodox church. Because a couple of years ago, and I said this on my pod, a couple of years ago, the same fella Zelensky allowed his thugs to go into that same church and desecrate it, arrested priests and parishioners and threw them in jail, and desecrated, thieved from it as well, thieving books and icons, artifacts. That's what they did, desecrated it. And he's going, oh, look what no, it didn't, because the Russian intel said, we've got proof. And they could just show you the proof by that missile. Or it wasn't a missile, it was a drone. No, it was a missile. It was a missile, I'm sorry. And it malfunctioned. It malfunctioned. And it was Ukrainian. So you see how propaganda works. So people say, oh, look at that, he's doing these churches in. Why would he target a Russian Orthodox church? Come on, give us a break, you fools. These propagandists must think everybody's a fool. And LFC, just to say, I love the community you've pulled together from here, there and everywhere. The Carlyleans. I like that. The Carlyleans. And Natasha said, you should show some old photos of Liverpool. Do you remember getting the ferry to New Brighton? Yeah, New Ferry. And the ferry to, yeah. Yes. And Seacombe. New Brighton, Seacombe. Of course. Especially when we were kids. Wonderful. You know, going to New Brighton to play it. And Seacombe. And Morton, by the way. And Morton. Playing on the sand, the beaches. Yeah, Natasha. Now, if I said this fella, right, you mentioned the picture. He's one of the greatest. He gave us something, Liverpool that is, and a son, a picture, historical thing. I've got them all, what he did. W.G. Herdman, his name is. And his son, the same, W.G. Herdman. And he did a picture, historical thing about Liverpool. Incredible what they did. I'll see if there's one on here. I'll see if there's one on here for you later on. So they're not like photos. Do you mean a photo like this, for example? Like that? What it was yesterday and what it is today. Photographs like that. Print and then a photo. Yes. Yes. I'll do that, Natasha. And Toscana, literature and poetry would be great as I didn't like it at school. Probably the way it was taught. That's the way, yeah, and that's why they asked me. That's why they asked me to do um, Shakespeare for the Terrified. And it was a huge success, actually. Not boasting at anything, but it was because people, they were just terrified of Shakespeare. And when they made up with it, I brought them to see. What did I bring them to see? Omelette. How omelettes were, made by a chef. Fantastic. And he said, I thought we were going to see Hamlet. I said, this is better because you get to eat the omelette. No, I brought them to see Hamlet. And they knew about it. And they loved it. They loved it. Because they knew the story. They knew some of the lines. And great Hamlet. And one of the, if you ever watch, or I'll do this. I'm not doing not the old play or anything. Othello. And when you think, about Othello, and one of the great Machiavellian villains of all time, Iago. Racism as well. Lots of racism in it. Incredible. And excuse the spelling, behave yourself. You're all right, honestly. LFC. What's the song? What's the song? Ferry Across the Mersey, says Natasha. That was by Jerry and the Pacemakers. Ferry Across the Mersey. That's it. I'm not singing it for you, Natasha. I think you should all leave me. What do you make of all these riots in Belfast? I'm being honest, darling, Natasha. That's for Friday night. That's for Friday. I don't want to get involved in that tonight because there's so much going on in America, for example, and they're making a big meal out of what happens in Belfast and even here with that young lad being murdered, Noah, and what's happens over there with a lad by the name of Anthony, Carmelo Anthony. Shocking. What's happening? The aftermath. It's very much like OJ, but without the riots. One person said, let's dig him up. This is the victim of this Carmelo Anthony. Stabbed him to death. Stabbed this lad to death. Carmelo Anthony. And because he got 35 years for murder, people were reacting. And they were saying, let's dig him up and stab him again. One fellow was actually peeing on his grave. But that's for Friday. Friday night. Natasha. I'm getting all these fucking things through. It's Google. I can't get onto me fucking Google or anything because I've got to do a new password. It's terrible. What's happening to me? It's too me, like the old Liverpool saying, it's too me, isn't it? It is. Really gets me down. Umbrella. Toscana are doing a lot. Doing a lot. Better at going to take a lot. Oh, yeah, everything's a long time. Hello, everyone. Says Janet. I'm going down, people. I'm going down because you're all letting on to each other. Fuck's sake. Google. And Johan, do you have the IP address of the guy who tried to whack you? I could get him arrested if you want. You'd have to get hold of Jason. Do me a favour, Johan. See if you. I don't know whether I can send out emails because I sent you one. If you've received it, it might be. It'll be great that you received it because Jason will tell you anyway. And the T-shirt, Fred Astaire was a very good singer. Yeah, he did sing, didn't he? Do you know who I liked? Ginger Rogers. Loved her. Ginge. Yeah, look. Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers dance on air. Yeah, fantastic. I love Ginger. Really. I fell in love with a black and white superstar, Ginge. And Phil says, Frank, the surgeon who was doing the operation said about you, this guy is well enough to take the strain. He had heard about your podcast, Stamina. He's a lovely fella. Really was. He gave me so much encouragement. But I can't do anything for it. Usually be made up 6 weeks. I'll have no voice for 6 weeks. I've hardly got one now, to be honest. But 6 weeks, boys and girls. No, Frank. I've got to stay in hospital. Not for 6 weeks. Intensive care. Don't know how long I'm going to stay in. And Johan says to the T, indeed, although he's in Moscow most of the time, St. Petersburg is his own town. That's Putin, by the way. Lad. And Donna says, Stanley Taylor Cole. Poetry is quite brilliant. Coleridge used to come down here to see Quincy. I always forget this fella's name. Anyway, him and Wordsworth used to come down to it. Everton was a very posh place, they were full of villas and mansions. Everton, sort out place. So Thomas de Quincey used to come down to see. And a writer, novelist, Confessions of an Englishman Opium Eater. That's what he wrote. So they used to come down and see him. They used to go on sojourns around Liverpool, Everton. They used to go into Liverpool, obviously, as well. See the Mersey. That's where Thomas de Quincey lived. So we used to go there. He used to, and his sister Dorothy, Wordsworth's sister Dorothy. Janet, have you read The Doll's House? No, I haven't. I was told about that. Janet, no, I haven't. No. I've done mostly English literature. I mean, English classics. That's what I had to do mostly. I used to have to teach it as well. But, like, you know, as I said, when I go on holiday, I started reading all these, latter-day novels. The likes of yours, the likes of Grisham, but they were all monotonous and full of violence and whatever. Lol. I bet you're a better dancer than me, Frank. No. That's all that I do. That's me. That's me. Poor legs can't. My feet don't work anymore. Like a lot of things don't work. Say cheers, Johan. Samuel Taylor Coleridge. Brilliant he is, Coleridge. And poet. A poet. Rita Hayworth was the best female dancer in Hollywood. She came from a family of dancers, a long line of them. In fact, dancing was the family business. Well, you see Rita dancing with the great man himself, Fred Astaire. Frederick Austerlitz, his real name was. Nice name, innit? Austerlitz. The Battle of Austerlitz. Great though, Fred Astaire. Absolutely amazing. But yeah, you're right about Rita Hayworth. There's little things on it. Do you know, if you put a music, on YouTube and music, and you see people dancing to the music, I'm talking modern day, like Don't Bring Me Down by The Quo, and you see them dancing. Rita Hayworth. Good shout, that, poet. Nice one. Nice one, mate. Like that. And the t-shirt is like, share, hype, and subscribe for Frank, please. Hype. And the poet says, like the sounds of Jane Eyre, I'll have to... Poet, honestly, mate. It's a semi-autobiography. Jane Eyre and her life and what she wanted to do. Fantastic. But really, it's Charlotte Bronte and what she wanted to do. Our ladies were fantastic. You need to see Hamlet, Frank. Yes. Did you know that Shakespeare has a son named Hamlet? His only son named Hamlet. And Paul says, ye old English, practically a different language. Oh, yeah. I remember I had to read, blimey, Chaucer's Canterbury Tales. Couldn't make heads or tail of it. And this is what I'm saying. You know, people who don't understand Shakespeare, it's like Canterbury Tales. I couldn't, what's this? And then you get to know, and you get to know how it was written and why it was written. So it's things like that becoming old. That's a good one, that poet. That's Ennis. Hi everyone. Dickens on Wednesday sounds great. That's our friend from Tampa, the alligator man. Genuine, he's got. You can walk out the door to go to work or something. Big alligator walking past you. Morning. Morning, Mr. Gator. Genuine, that. Where he lives. Come over, Frank, anytime, mate. Come on. Will be a minute, Dennis. Sounds good. Great. I'll do it Wednesday. Boys and girls. Frank, I am happy to learn even a few snippets. Honestly, it'd be good. Believe me. Remember when I showed you that fella before? About he did a historical thing about Liverpool. But you won't be able to see this. I've got it here, look. Herdman's Liverpool. I've got a couple of these actually. But let's see. Let's throw this. Now, we all, like, if you're a Scouser, you know Hope Street, don't you? Now, Hope Street's named after the fella named Hope. And he was a miller. And he had a big windmill. And he made, like, you know, bread and whatever. And there's where he lived. I hope I can see this without getting in the way of. That's Hope Street. So it's things like that that Herdman did. And that's on roughly on the site of the Royal Philharmonic Hall, as you know today. Not the pub. And little Donna says, Wednesday, Dickens evening. Okay. And the poet says, I'll be right up for a Dickens night. Whatever the night. Do it Wednesday. Don't know what I'm doing tomorrow night. And you're, yes, from St. I've got a fella. You can't make this up, can you? I've got a mate from Tampa. On here now. Although that's why I look over, because all the comments are there, you see, coming up. And you're like Tampa in Florida. And you're in St. Petersburg, Russia. On here. With me. You can't make these things up. Do you know what? I should have gave this to Dennis, you know. This. I should have gave it to Papara. But I only found it the other day. And it's Heritage Walk. Because he went around with the Incurables, you know, the band. And I should have given him the... But if I would have known where it was, I would have given it. And it's a Heritage Walk of Liverpool. And it's brilliant. And I should have given it because he was sending me pictures and everything, what he was taking pictures of. And I told him to look at a certain thing and take a photograph. I said, did you get it? Did you do it? And he said, yeah, don't say what it is, Dennis. Please, don't say what it is. Because if I get better, I'll take you all out and show you a few things. Because you're all lovely people. And Phil says, Wednesday can be our escape from the crap of the world. Yeah. That's good, that. That's a cracking shout, actually. And Bella says, yes. And Janet says, I have a very old copy of Tom Brown's School Days, Thomas Hughes. Yeah. You never heard of Thomas Hughes, though, do you? Tom Brown's School Days was one of the classics. Janet. One of the classic Tom Brown School Days. When I was younger, this is where they get me age away here. When I was younger, black and white, obviously, I used to love Billy Bunter on the telly. Loved it. Billy Bunter. Great Friars. Dennis, I'm about halfway through Mr. Maxwell's latest page, Turner. Oh, he's done a fictional thing, you know, about Liverpool, hasn't he? And Abercrombie Square. And the Confederate consulate. I would have loved to have shown you that, you know, Dennis. With being an old boy, I could have brought you in there and showed you a few things. You would have been, and your mates, would have been absolutely amazed. I'm telling you now. And a fella named J.K. Prolu, an American, well, he was a Confederate, and he was the Confederate consul. But you would have been amazed what was in there. I'm telling you. I have great expectations about next. That's a cracker, that, Cedric. That is a cracker. I have great expectations about next season. And the poet says, I've read Bleak House, Tale of Two Cities, and Hard Times, wherein the last all were super. Poet, do yourself a favour. If you've got Hard Times there, do it even tonight. We'll do it now. Do it now while I'm going to go for a break. And I'll have to go for a break. If you've got Hard Times, I'll have to make myself a cup of tea, really. If you've got Hard Times, Dennis, watch this. This is for you, by the way. I don't mean what I'm talking to poet. If you've got hard times, get onto the 5th chapter, Keynote. And what Dickens is describing is Liverpool, while he was sitting on a bench somewhere in Everton looking down into the city. So you can imagine what the city was like then, mid-19th century, while eating Everton mints, medicinal mints from Molly Bushels. Have a look. I'm sorry about this. I've got to go for a break. Jason will show you something now.
Hey girls, but how about this?
Okay, here we go. Wait. Here we go.
Is it my fault you don't know your history?
Hang on a minute. That's the great writer, Herman Monster, you know what I mean? They find their paradise, and that's where we're here.
Hey.
Now, I'll go on. Yeah, you're on the telly now, you're on the TVC. You'll have to buy it.
Are you using a script? Frank doesn't use a script.
The prison was empty and f***ing hell. Cathedral wasn't built while Jameson was living here because the bells would have kept him up all day.
All night.
Hey, remember this?
Hey, don't be shouting at people. Hey, remember this?
The prison was never empty a year now.
Okay.
It was just up there. Celebrated its centenary. Once again.
Sorry, that's my phone.
Show me one. Ready? You ready?
Go on. This is his legacy.
This is his
leg. This is his leg.
Okay. That's you.
You ready? People just walk up and down the street, yet they don't even know it exists. But I'm going to bring you in. Follow me. Okay. Alright. I don't know why gates are always locked on me. Every time I go to open a gate, it's always locked. Ready? Hang on.
Looks like you're going to fart.
I've just remembered what I've passed walking up Mount Pleasant.
That sounds like you passed a kidney stone.
Did it?
Yeah. Just remember what I've just passed.
You could have been one of them, bringing your poorly... You ready? Wow. All right. Behind. Oh yeah. Oh, hello, Mr. Shields. How are you, mate? William Rathbone had taken the initiative. And you're moaning to me about getting it done, right?
Oh, hello, Mr. Shields. Just get it done. Just get it done.
Wyndham Sadler. off. Did you hear that? The big noise, did you get us in? No, was it okay? Therefore, Agnes Jones, through a dedication and a sacrifice, has become...
Don't worry, don't let them bother you, Frank. Don't let them bother you.
What do you think of that? So when he was showing like a script, I'd done everything off the cuff. Believe you me, because what that was like a location. And what, you know, I'll be talking about. That's all. Genuine, though. Never ever was scared. I wouldn't be making them mistakes. But I, you know, all those mistakes is... Anyway. I hope you enjoyed that. I really do. Where am I? And Bella says, William Shakespeare, he captured every sorrow, joy and fear. Brilliant. With words that echo down 400 years. Yes. Yes. Brilliant, though. Brilliant, Bella. My uncle, says Janet, in law, was a policeman. Died last week, after being sent home with pneumonia after 2 days in Western Hospital. God blimey, thanks for letting me know about hospital. I'm going. And Phil, that's nice. Pneumonia is the silent killer, says Phil. Yes, it is. And Toscana, hope all goes well for you, Franco, at the doctor. Yeah, I'm there tomorrow. Thank you. Thank you so much, Toscana. I'm never out of there. Might as well get a bed. Might as well. I'm everywhere. Doctors, hospital. If Jason says, I've loaded some Erdman slides up, check it. Oh, brilliant. Brilliant, thank you. Sergey, thank you so much. And Jenna says, might head to St. Petersburg, Florida, across the Tampa Bay to visit Salvador Dali's museum. Wow. You've even got Naples, haven't you, in Florida. And Janet says, Phil, every day should be an escape day. Yeah, it should. That's a good comment, though. And Jenna says, my lips are sealed, Frank. Thank you. Thank you, Dennis. That's, not to say anything what I showed them. Not what I showed them, what I told them to have a look at, take a picture, show your mates. It's fantastic, honestly. And people haven't a clue. I'm talking about Scousers. Even, I'm telling you now, the likes of Dennis, for example, because they go around the little band having a look at Liverpool and whatever. And they would never have known about it. And yet they were made up. Well, he was showing them. They were made up, the band, the Incurables. Can we do Williamson's tunnels? Oh no. Yeah, I've done it on a DVD. Janet. Goodbye, Mr. Chips is another school team movie. The star Leslie Banks was from West Derby. He was badly wounded. Yeah, he was. He was. And he had like, his face was like frozen, wasn't it? On one side because of that wound in the First World War. And you wouldn't think that he came from Liverpool. Look at Rex Harrison from Ayton and his accent. Even Ataraski. You little playmates. But you're right there. Leslie, he was in loads of films, Leslie Banks. Oh, what film was it? I'm trying to think. He was in a propaganda film during the war, you know. Was made during the war. And it was about Nazis, you know, flying in, pretending to be English soldiers. And Leslie Banks was like a posh fella of the village, but he was a fifth columnist. Leslie Banks, I forget what it was called. Coketown was based on Liverpool. Wow. Hard times. It's not literature. Hey, Benny was brilliant. And it was written by a priest, by the way. Hey, Benny. So sad. And Phil's laughing. And Johan says, you're on the telly. You're on a DVD. Now you have to buy it. That was that girl going past us. Remember that? I won't say what she said, though, but she turned it out. It was off camera, like. And Phil says, honest, my mum's favourite book, Benny, I think. Benny, yeah. And Cedric says, nobody trusts Frank. I don't think they do. Thanks for that, Cedric. And Janet says, Phil, I spoke with James Halliwell whilst going for Roundhouse in London, Macca. Great vid, Frank. Thank you, T. And Johan says, your laugh is infectious, Frank. Be grinning like a Cheshire cat for 5 minutes. I'm glad someone's laughing, to be honest. Can't all be bloody miserable. And Phil says, Janet, get on you at the Roundhouse in rubbing shoulders. There you go. You get everywhere. And Donna says, proper scouser, men on the bloopers. Yes. Dennis, is that a Rickenbacker? God bless, I haven't a clue about guitars. And Dennis is, you know, he's got like, most probably it is a Rickenbacker. Phil. And Janet says, Daniel Craig spent childhood years on Bond Street in Prescott. How coincidental is that? I interviewed his granddad, Daniel Craig, years ago. And he just made a film, not Bond. And he just made a film. And what has happened was, he, which was good actually, because he just made a film about, I don't know what was, First or Second World War. I think it was the Second World War, where he was a freedom fighter. He was a Jew, played a Jew in Poland or somewhere like that. I never watched it, to be honest. And his mother said, oh, he's making a, do you know him? I said, I'm sorry, I've never heard of him. So I was interviewing his granddad. His granddad, what a story. He got captured at, well, he didn't, you know, he escaped from Dunkirk. So he said, fuck this. He said, because he was an officer. He said, that's it, you know. So he resigned his commission and he joined the Navy and he got torpedoes. He said, fuck this. And he got back to England and he joined the Air Force and he got shot down. Got back to England and he joined the intelligence service. And his mate was, you're never going to believe it, but two mates. One was Ian Fleming. And what did he write? James Bond. And his other mate was an intelligence officer. And he went behind enemy lines. He could speak several languages without an accent. Without an accent. And you know who that was? I think Bonds was on this fella. You know, it says, oh no, it wasn't based on anybody. But when you think about it, who I'm going to mention, and going behind enemy lines, and he was so smooth as well. If you could imagine this fella young, very smart. And he comes from the Borgia family, his ancestors, his lineage, his family tree. And do you know who it was? Christopher Lee. He got his car broke down and somewhere in Italy. He was driving around, him and his wife, and it broke down, and it was dusk, say. And he said he sees a little light way beyond, right across, you know, like whatever it was, you know, the countryside. And he said, I'll have to go there, see if they've got a phone, see if phone a garage. We can't stay here all night. So his wife says, okay. And she went, hang on, you're not leaving me here on my own. And this is, please God, this is absolutely genuine what happened. Genuine this. He have to go right through and over these fields to get to this house with a little light on to see if they've got a phone. He knocks on the door and he's waiting like that. Honest, this is absolutely genuine. It's hard to believe, but it's happened. Now, don't forget, he's in the middle of Italy somewhere. And the next, you know, the door squeaky opens like that. And he could speak fluent Italian, by the way. And he said, Buonasera, signore. And the fellow looked at him and he went shouting to his wife, it's Dracula. That's absolutely true. It's Dracula. At the door. You know, you can't make these things up. And I seen him in an interview talking about it. It's Dracula. Anyway, he let him use his phone. He has a cup of coffee with him or a drink of wine, I forget what it was. And they got it, you know, the truck came along, the truck his car away with him in it, like. And that's an unusual story. You can't make these bloody things up. And Phil says, Frank Dad's army, when they captured the U-boat crew, don't tell them, Pike. Don't tell them, Pike. He said, I want your name. You know, when he's asking for all the names, and he was writing them down, the German commander. So funny. And, they were wanting fish and chips. And the German commander said to the manager, and I don't want them soggy. I don't want them soggy. Manager just looked at him. Brilliant, Dad's Army. Do you know that I never watched I only watched the first series only when, it wasn't the first, a couple of series, but David Beckham, because he died, didn't he? And once he died, that was it. Never watched it anymore. But you're right there. That's so funny. That was hilarious. Went the day well. Was that it? Went the day well. Thank you, Johan. Leslie Banks. Went the day well. About a village. Watch it. I love propaganda films, by the way. I'm talking about in the Second World War. Love them. Don't like propaganda today. Totally against it. Everything. And the Ironside says, everyone may not be good, but there's always something good in everyone. Nice one. Never judge anyone shortly, because every saint has a past and every sinner has a future. Bit of philosophy there. Excellent. Excellent. Was it Cottage Select? No, it was Went the Day Well. Cottage Select was, I tell you, he was in that. Besides Millsy. And Millsy, he was played a German, but in a British uniform, you know, as a parachute. You know, as a British flyer. The RAF played it. Brilliant it was. And he was only a kid in it. Oh, what was it? What's his name? Arthur Daly. Remember him, Arthur Daly? Arthur Daly. He was in it as a kid. You're talking about McCartney, aren't you? I bet you bloody did, says Phil. Thought Ayres was in that Went the Day Well, says the poet. Sundays used to be hard work back in the day, but all their songs of praise malarkey. No shops open, no sport, etc. And even the pub shut. Even when I was young, the pub shut at 2:00 in the afternoon on a Sunday and opens at 7. We were so far ahead in the future, weren't we? Hey, this country. Poets on Wednesday shops used to close at half. Yeah, they did, Phil. Yeah. Yep. Janet, my cousin's first home was Bond Street, Prescott, same age as Daniel Craig. Christopher Lee, absolutely. Absolutely, mate. Great man, him. Film should be done about him. And the poet. I found them crispy and the chips. Oh, so funny. And Janice said, I visited Como. My son met me. He flew from Kuwait for a weekend on Lake Como. Oh, go away. That's nice. Brad Pitt's got a house there. And George Clooney's got a house there. Lake Como. I always remember I was in Lido di Jesolo once. And, I've got a few Italian friends. And one of them just chatting to him. And I said, well, where do you live? He said, Lake Como. I said, what are you doing here? He said, on holiday. Blimey, Lake Como. Fantastic place. Christopher Lee's full name is Christopher Frank Carandini Lee. He's half Italian. He's of Italian descent on his mum's side, like me. Like me. Well done there, Toscana. Well done. And Phil says, Charlie Chaplin trolled Hitler, the great dictator. Charlie Chaplin wasn't a very nice man, you know. He's a bit of a pervert. Well, he was a pervert. Sorry to say. Have you got to say it, Tommy? I've got a great joke. And the poet says, Chaplin's speech in that film was incredible. Yeah, but he was a bit of a... Listen, I'm going to have a slurp of me tea if you don't mind. Wonderful people. You get the likes of people who... I'm sorry, but I don't like perverts. Especially with young girls. As the Americans call them, minors. I'm going to show you some of Erdmann's work. Remember Erdmann when I was telling you about? You're talking about the mid-19th century. And look at that. Exchange buildings. Incredible. And there's Castle Street. It's Castle Street, though. That's actually a look at the castles now. And that's English Circus, and that's in Dale Street. The English Circus. So they had to take that down to build the municipal building that we have today. Magnificent building. It's a hotel now. English Circus. It's funny, they went up to, they opens up they went up to Everton Road. Okay, that's where they went. And they opens up a theatre called the Hippodrome, where on Shield Road there used to be, believe it or not, a zoo. And animals used to just flit about and whatever. And they used to bring animals into the Hippodrome. Until a lion tamer was in with, a lion and with his whip and that. And the lion made a big leap for him, and he ran out, but one of the sides of the cage fell. And all the audience ran out. No one was killed, like. Good enough. Look at that. That's beautiful. And that's just beautiful. Dale Street. Look at it. Look at it. That's what I was telling you about. That's the municipal building being built. Sorry about this. Can't fucking see, you see. Look at that. See that? Look at the wood. That's a wood yard, that. Fantastic what we had and what we built. Love it. I just have to see. Look at that. That's St. Domingo Road, that. Believe it or not, it's a Vale, right? And in St. Domingo, that used to freeze over in the when you had proper winters, and people used to skate on it. I'm going back to the 19th century. Look at that. Again by Erdman. Just beautiful. He gave us a picture of what Liverpool was like. If you look at that, you've got St. Luke's Church, which is under that, facing where them people are, where that couple is. And you've got the Bold Street, just facing it. Incredible. This is by Erdman. And that's Cleveland Square, I think. I can't see the print. I think it is. It's in the middle of the city, though. So you have a sort of background to what it was like. That'd be Everton, that. Cottages, mansions, villas. That's the dock. Look at it. St. Nick's Church, most probably. Or it could be St. Thomas. It depends on what way you're looking. Look at that. I just love all his work, you see. And the old Haymarket, that's where I just like grew up by there. Where I was born and bred. The old Haymarket. Why it was called why it was called Haymarket? That's where all the people used to go, when it was just horse driven for the hay. And there used to be a market there for hay, hence Old Hay Market. Became redundant more or less, so they just called it Old Hay Market. Just retain the name of it. Tunnel entrance now. Richmond Street. That's right in the heart of the city centre. Richmond Street. Got the Richmond pub. What's that? Thought so. Tyburn Street. Tyburn Street's very famous because historically, what has happened historically was the Moors owned it. And they used to have a massive barn. And they used to wait for people, these little farm people, because they own the land. And they used to have to pay the tithes, which were taxes. And during the Civil War, the English Civil War, in 1644, between May and June 1644, the Royalists took over. By the November 1644, it went back to the parliamentarians. Now, why that's more important is because the Moors who own the land and taken tithes in the barn, they fled. When the castle was taken by Prince Rupert in 1644, June 1640, they were only here 18 days. And a loads of myths surrounding it, like the castle and all this, Rupert's castle. It was a lock-up and it wasn't built until well over 100 years later, in 1897. Not 1890, 1787. And people tend to think that the Royalists, were okay in the Moors, but the Moors, after defending the castle, scarpered. They left 360 citizens to fend for themselves then, the Moors, because they were parliamentarians, the ordinary people. And they were killed. They were actually killed. And that's how it became into the hands of the Royalists in June 1644. So when in November 1644 and the castle was retaken by the parliamentarians, the Moors, they were scrubbed off everything. So they immortalised the cowardly name of the Moors because he got off somewhere with his troops to leave the citizens to fend for themselves instead of protecting them. So they scrubbed everything Moore Street out because where Tyburn Street is now, it used to be called Moore Street. So they scrubbed it out, but they immortalised the name without using the name Moore, and they called it Tyburn Street, Taxbarn Street, letting people know that that's where they paid that man and his family taxes. So that's it. Is there any more? Don't know. Look at that. I can't help. Look at that. They're the tunnels. That's Williamson's tunnels, believe it or not. Williamson's tunnels. And that's London Road, near where I grew up, born and bred. London Road. Why is it called London Road? Simply because it was the road to London, like Scotland Road, the road to Scotland. East Prescott Road, the road to East Prescott. Prescott Road, the road to Prescott. So all the roads will lead to. And Phil says, happy birthday, Mo Salah. Yeah, it's his birthday. Mo Salah running down the wing. There's a Tyburn Road in Knowsley. Knowsley Village, says Janet. I'll have to, I can't go to. I'm sorry, but Basil, is there something wrong, German guest? Will you stop talking about the war? Basil Faulty, me, you started it, German guest. We did not start it. Basil Faulty, yes you did. You invaded Poland. What does it remind you of today? You invaded Poland. And it was we who declared war, wasn't it, on Germans? And all the best buildings in history were built by tradesmen who learned through the word of mouth. No city and guilds or night schools in those days, but look at the buildings they built. Yes. Most of them were stonemasons as well back in the day. I'll show you something now. show you something now. I'll have to take you down, Port, to show you this. Where am I? Now then. Now, it sounded like booking that Jimmy said. Now then. No. Right. Bear with me on this, people. For fuck's sake. What happened? What happened? I'm hopeless, aren't I? Dead hopeless. Jay, can you help me get that back up? Please. Have I got it up? Have you got it up? I was going to show them something. Sorry, can't show you it. And you're talking about great, like, builders. I was coming, Francine took me shopping today. She took me up to the littlest Marks and Spencers in the world, Edge Lane. So she took me up there. And she took me up there, and I was crashing into people. You know, it's dead tiny. You know, I was using the trolley, you know, as a Zimmer to try and walk. Crashing into people, and Francie said, "Taz, will you move? Look, people behind me, people in front of me, people at the side of me, trying to push the trolleys through because the aisles were so tiny." Oh, yeah. I think Jason's, I think he is. Unless it's me. I'm looking at something on that. No, it's me, and I can't get it up again. I'm awfully sorry. Oh, fuck. I'm useless, aren't I? Useless. I'm trying to, if I can't get it, I'm sorry. Fuck it. Oh. For fuck's sake. I'm useless. I'm sorry, boys and girls. I'm not going. I can't do it now. Sorry. I was going to show you something. Now. Can't show you. So sorry. I don't know what happens. I'll just blame me anyway, because I'm hopeless. Jason. Oh. Okay, Jay, I'm sorry. Shauna, I'll show you something. I'm awfully sorry about this. My fault entirely. Well, I don't know. It's just the way them mice work, if you know what I mean. That's why Jason says, well, then he can get me a new tooth. Won't be a minute. At least I'll be able to finish my cup of tea. I haven't done anything to you. I don't. I'm awfully sorry, honest to God. It'll come on in a minute, I think. I just wanted to show you something. Well, I suppose it'll be a big letdown when I show you it to all this weight. See how much Jay has to do to set everything up. It's not half a lot, you know. And I messed it up. I don't know what happened though. I really don't know what happened. That's me for you. I'm awfully sorry. I really am. What's fucking wrong with this thing? I think I'm fucking doing shit. just shows you, doesn't it? You know, if anything goes wrong on anything, and as it says, I'm not technically minded. It really is bad. Hey. He's done it. Hopefully, this is what I'll show you. I hope it's that. Thanks, Jay. I'm awfully sorry, mate. Thank you so much. Thank you. Get back to this. Anyway, I'll have to go. Just look at that, though. Look at that. Look at the Mersey there. That's fantastic. Look at the steamships. You know, the first new steamship coming through. And the likes of that will be the Great Eastern. That sailed from Liverpool. This was its home. Isambard Kingdom Brunel's Great Eastern. There's St. Peter's Church. That's in Church Street. Wasn't Church Street. Fantastic. Fantastic. And there's the municipal building that I was telling you about. That became, now it's become a 5-star hotel. There's exchange flags. Town hall. Look at all the domes we've got. Loads of them. Loads of domes. There's Bold Street. Leading into Church Street. Incredible. Notice that, the way they blocked it off. So Americans, you know, coming off the ships or anyone else coming up here wouldn't see all this. Incredible. Well, let's see what I've got. I want to show you something. You mentioned before about architects. You only have to look at that there. Then you go over and look at this. Look at that. Neoclassical buildings. Look at that. Incredible. Even St. John's Church. And when that was pulled down in 1896, we had the gardens, which is still there today, but they took all the cemetery it was, and they took all the English up, took them up and reburied them, and they still left 2,000 French prisoners of war buried there today, still there. And look at Lime Street Station. That was the biggest expansion of a glass roof in the entire world at the time. And look at that. Look at that. Incredible. Just loved everything about. There's the vines there, look. Incredible. And when you think about like Liverpool and you know, the architects, imagine the architect who designed that was a very young man in his 20s, and he died at the age of 33 from consumption. Harvey Lonsdale Elms. so he never ever seen it completed. And he got his mentor, Sir Charles Cockerell, to finish it off, because what he wanted was the two ancient Greeks. Ancient Greece, which is on the outside, and ancient Rome, which is on the inside. Incredible building. And that building there, you can just about see it. Let's see if we can get it further in. That building there, I love that building, because that building is a copy of my favourite building in the whole of the world, and that's the Pantheon in Rome, and it's still being utilised today after 2,000 years. And the architect of the Pantheon was none other than, and that was his hobby, was Emperor Hadrian. Hadrian's Wall and all that. Look at that. Love it. That was a library, that. That was the original library. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Stable fountain. Right, let's see where I'm going with this. I just want to show you something. Oh, no, I can't. Oh, I know. There's Central Station. I made a mistake there. I said that was the Vines. It wasn't. But believe it or not, that is the original Adelphi Hotel there. That's where Dickens used to stay, and he calls it the greatest or the finest hotel in the world. And there's St. Nick's Church. Look at that. St. Nick's, Bold Street there. St. Nick's Church, look at it. Let's see if we've got another one. Oh, come on. No. No, I can't get it, fortunately. It doesn't matter though. We've done everything. And I'm sorry. Look at that. I've actually got this picture myself. In there. That picture. And it was taken from a balloon. But where it says drawn by Brewer and Wiley, that was after the sketch by, it was a Frenchman who went up in a balloon. Let's see if we got anything. Yes. Yes. Just bear with me on this. No. Shame. But anyway, people, I'm going to finish now. Tomorrow night, do you know what I might do? I might just do literature tomorrow. I really don't want to do football. I'm fed up with it. I'm fed up with podcasters coming out and reiterating the same thing over and over and over again. Got nothing against them, you know, but I don't want to be repeating what they're repeating and nothing to, no. I tell you what, I will do a football show tomorrow. And I want your opinion. I really want your opinion on everything. Shall I? I don't know. It's entirely up to you what you want. Honestly, just look. I'm going to go right down. People. Right down. Let's see the fucking new comments. Right. And Mr. Are you Mr. B? Oh, I've never seen you there. Anyway, where's Mr. Locks? Oh, yeah, he was being funny with me, wasn't he? And as someone said, he was winding you up. So, Mr. Lockstock, I'm fucking bothered, to be honest. Right. Can anybody tell me, honestly, please let me know, please, right now, what you want me to do tomorrow night? Do you want me to do football? Let me know. Or do you want me to do literature? You know, like if you have football, it's your thing, you know, to interact. See what's going on in the world today, you know, about America and about, you know, two teams taking part, which I think is very sad. I won't watch any World Cup. I have principles, you see. I really do. You've got two countries being represented that are at war right now. But I'm talking about an economic war, which is dreadful, which is worse for us, by the way. You've got another country that's absolutely destroying a race of people, and they're allowed to play. And you've got another country that's been banned from everything, from literature to entertainment, the likes of the Bolshoi Ballet, that gave the world ballet. You've got the likes of gymnasts, banned gymnasts. What are they going to do? You've got everything. The culture of Russia, because they dare go in. Now, you know, they're all Russophobes anyway, and they're all blatant liars. I'm not talking about Russians, I'm talking about the West. If you agree or disagree, you know, it's entirely up to you. But the Russophobes, and they just do anything. That's why Putin threw them all out in 1991. Because they were stealing everything from Russia. From earth minerals to oil to everything. Diamonds, golds, you name it, they were stealing. And he threw them all out. The oligarchs. Every one of them. And honestly, you've only got to look at Moscow, try and stream Moscow. See the business quarter there. Modern buildings. It's one. There's a building there that's. I think it's the finest modern building ever built. You know that me about architecture. I love architecture, but I'm talking about the old architecture. Going back even to a castle. But when you see this modern buildings, I don't like modern buildings, but you want to see the business quarter of Moscow. And there's a building there which is absolutely amazing. And I said, that's the best modern building I've ever seen. If you ever stream Moscow and the business quarter, have a guess what one it is. I think you will guess because it's amazing. Anyway, that's me. So let me know what you want, people. It's a watchmaker plus two makers workshop, no longer owned by me. Oh. I don't know what you were talking about, unfortunately, Janet. Question and answer. That's a good shout. That's a good shout. Ah, Mr. B. How's you, Frank? That's a good shout, that, actually. Question and answer. How's you, Frank? Mr. B? I'm okay. Janet's going. Good night, Frank. Not football, Frank. I'm having football tomorrow. Janet won't be on. I'm only kidding. Literature, unless someone real footy news, unless some. That's what I mean, Phil. I'm not being funny. You read about it. You go on other. You can go on any pod during the day, and you're getting the same old. And I don't want to come on and start repeating. See, that's why I always left it up to you. When I did a football show, interacting with you. All the chatters here. Because it's different, you see. And that's why what's the use, especially with the World Cup? I'm not watching the World Cup. And he gave me points why. And that's why I said, what do you want tomorrow? And what did Johan say? What about a question and answer? I think that would be good because, to have a question and answer, you can ask any question. If I can answer them, I will. But most probably you will yourself. Someone asks a question, someone just say, like, hey, I look at Phil. Like, he asks a question. And most probably, if I can't answer, most probably Johan or TW or anybody else could answer it. And let that, I think a question and answer would be ideal, actually. Leave it open, chat shall dictate the flow. You're right. That's what dictated it tonight. And Jaws, please, Frank. Well, I'll be doing that on Wednesday, as I said. I'll do the literature. If you want a question and answer tomorrow rather than football, because if you're looking at YouTube and you're looking at these different pods that are giving you the same thing. Oh, we're after Barcola. Oh, if Michelle Jones. How many fucking days? I'm sorry. How many times do you want to wear that? Get rid of gap code. It's every day. And I don't want to be talking about it. Because I don't want to get into the realms of other people. And other people will be watching the World Cup. And Mr. B, get a couple of brass on and football on in the background, making a fuss of you. Send me your details in fire. You, the Josh, Mr. Send me your details in fire. You, the Josh. Oh, Peter Josh. I don't want any money. Let Frank. Good night. God bless, says Janet. To all of you, good night and God bless, says Janet. And Phil says, Putin was celebrated by the West until the realisation set in that he was not a dancing bear. Brilliant. Brilliant, that Phil. Brilliant. I can't... Me and Jason will be made up, you know, that Johan's okay. We don't half worry, you know, about people. We really do. That we Zelensky don't trust. No, he's a rat. Yes. Yes, he's a little rat. Absolutely. Wee. He is a wee rat. Literature. CW. Yeah, question and answer sounds good, Frank. Well, the question and answer there, poet, you can ask anything on literature, but don't forget, I'll be doing literature the next night, in depth. And I'll do Jaws. And it's good, isn't it? You know, when you've only got to say 2 bars, and you know exactly what it is. What do you think this film comes from? Right, I'm going to do the music. But it is music, but it's a very finely tuned thing on a violin. What's that? What film's that? But interpreted, aren't I? Poet, question and answer sounds good. Thank you, poet. The poet says, my politics very, very similar to yours, Frank. I think we're all, I think we're all similar, because at least we don't take notice of propaganda. And the poet says, thanks to Jason as well. Sounds like the lad is an unsung hero. He is. People, he's got it. No, he's right. You're right. People do. Like TW, he always thanks Jason because he is. He sets everything. I'm fucking hopeless, mate. Useless. What's yours? Oh, behave yourself. If you don't know what yours is, psycho. TW. Psycho. Mr. the violinist. Do you think I'll be a good violinist? It was psycho. It was psycho. See what I mean? Like just little things. And Jason says, thanks, poet. I just keep my head down. Or he doesn't half work hard. And I mean, of a day. Because he does all this. He does all this. I mean, not this, but he keeps like these big companies going. Jason. And he looks after his mum, his daughter, his lads. His lads, Caleb, he's a lovely fella. And he's an etymologist. An etymologist. Came into me when I was around in his house. He was only a little lad. And he said, do you know what etymology is? And I went, yeah. And I said, like insects and things. And he went, you're right. So anyway, he just vanished out of the room when he came in to look at me. You see who I was. And then he came back in and he went, look. And he put it on my hand. And I went, oh, what's that? He said, it's a stick insect. And I went, what is it? And I thought it was a plastic one. And I'm stroking it like that. You know, this plastic thing. I said, that's big, isn't it? Big green thing. A big long green thing. I'm looking like that. It was alive. I thought it was plastic. Oh. Can you take that away? And that's what he is. Went to university, got all his qualifications, and that's what the lad is. Lovely kid. Lovely young man. Caleb, Jason's lad. They're all good, this little family. And little Donna said, sorry, you had to leave for the last half hour. What have I? Oh, you've missed everything. I'm sorry, Donna. Can't tell you what you've missed. You wouldn't believe us anyway. Get your head down, Frank, says Janet. Down where, Janet? Shouldn't say things like that. And Mr. B says, Janet and Pigeon in her kitchen. Janet and Pigeon. She's all you, the number one producer. Honestly, you know, Jason. Hey, Frank and Jason, says Phil. Bedtime for me. Thanks for the show and the chatters. Stop it, Mr. B. And he's laughing his little head up. Mr. B. Don't be sorry. So, daylight savings was created because of an entomologist, because he wanted to catch bugs. Fucking hell, I couldn't, you know. I couldn't do insects. I remember a girl, and it's a very attractive girl. And she said, what time are you finishing? And I said, around, I said, I get out about 9:30. You know, this is a late night. She said, would you like to come up and see me? And I went, what for? Anyway, she phoned me. And I just coming out, I was just walking to my car. And she said, oh, yeah, it's me. And I went, oh, yeah, you're okay, sonny, coming up. Do you know what she said? She said, because she told me what she had, and I completely and utterly forgot about it, you know, like weeks before. She said, I put the spiders away. I said, you've what? I put the spiders away. Do you know what she had? Tarantulas. She had tarantulas in her house. Oh, fuck off. She wanted to put the spiders away. I forgot all about them. And other, like, little creatures. I said, oh, no, I can't make it. I said, I'm up early in the morning and I'm out again, you know, at uni. I said, I'm sorry, and I've got to look up some things about the Romans. Blocked. Fucking tarantulas and other creatures. And poets say, like Frank, like J.A., Jason, like chat. Best of luck tomorrow at the Aussie, Frank. Thank you. Thank you, Sean. Oh, thank you. Thank you. And Gianna says, good night, guys. And Jason says, Caleb had snakes now. Has snakes? You got off, lad. Fucking hell. And on that wonderful safe note, because of that, I'll see you all tomorrow. Thank you so much for joining myself and Jason. And that's nice, though. Night, Frank, and I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you, T. And hope you have a happy Tuesday, says Johnny. That nice. And what I'll do, we'll have that question and answer, because everything goes in, doesn't it? Rather than just one subject. But on Wednesday, I'll have the literature and the film and TV review on Thursday. I'll do it. I won't do one for tomorrow, but I will definitely do one for Wednesday, and that'll be a recorded football thing. Okay. Mr. B, good luck tomorrow, Frank. Best wishes. Thank you, Mr. B, our Scottish friend. And lovely little Donna. Good night, lovely chat, and lovely Frank. Thank you, Donna. I'll give you the text in a minute, Donna, when I finish. I'll have to make myself a cup of tea. Hope your week is the best. Isn't that lovely? And Johan, all the way from St. Petersburg, one of the most beautiful cities on the planet. St. Petersburg, it is. And he says, take care, Franco and legends. Have a great night all. Love you all. Isn't that lovely? And on that, I'm not going to do any more. That's a wonderful thing to go on, to end on. As I said, thank you so much for joining me tonight, and Jason, and everybody on the chat. Thank you so much. See you tomorrow, hopefully. The lot of you. Question and answers. Only spiders I like were the ones from Mars. Mr. B. Scottish and Scousers have too right. I'm telling you now, ports, you see. They're a port city. And as the poet says, defo to Mr. B. So we'll see you tomorrow. Question and answers. And nothing about snakes, spiders, or don't want to get onto the the episodes of do you want to come out and put the spiders away? Buonanotte, Franco and chatters. Many thanks for tonight, says the beautiful, lovely Maria Toscano. No, Janet, I haven't. Never found a sugar spider in my life. And I'm going now. Straight talk too. Straight talkers too. Absolutely. Absolutely. Be lucky. Yes. I'll let you know anyway how we got on at the docks, the Aussie and that tomorrow. Is that okay? Mille grazie. Mille grazie. Ci vediamo domani. Ciao.